Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our final call of 2023. Who on here has been to all 12 except Mary? Mary, you been to all 12? You on mute, Mary. This is our final call for 2023 FarmaSIS monthly meeting. Every single month, I said we have superstars every month. A sister coming on to share about the world of agriculture. We are here, alive and well, and doing it in this agricultural space. As we know, agriculture is the #1 industry in the state of South Carolina, and we are a part of that industry. So welcome to the call, everyone. Welcome. Our mission at FarmaSIS is to educate, inspire, and train 10,000 Black women to grow food, particularly in their own space. Sometimes when we think about growing food, we hear the word farm and we think it's gigantic and we can't do it. But I encourage everybody to grow in small spaces, on your porch, just grow something. So when we get, having 10,000, we have a new food system and we will exchange and buy from each other. Later on, when Mary's 5 acres of collard greens come up, I am going to purchase as much as she allows me to purchase of those 5 acres. So I'm getting down there in January to play in her 5-acre collard green field. Mary, you know how much that is? Well, you done planted them. That's a lot, but I'll be down there. So again, that's our mission. Our vision is to work collectively, or our pillars is to work collectively as women to promote health and wellness through nature and to initiate economic development through agriculture. Our belief that our food is our medicine, and we know that. Yeah, I always say this. I try not to raise fear inside of people, but this food system is getting more fragile. And the things that they're creating and making food in the labs, they are not good for us. They're not good for us. So I just want you to be mindful of that. We are ahead of the curve. We're thinking about how important it is to grow our own, and we are growing our own. But I want to encourage us to step it up even more. Tell our friends, tell our families, grow at least one thing and let's exchange. Let's work collectively. That's going to be the wave of us doing things, working collectively, so that you don't try to do it all yourself. It's tough when you're working by yourself, but work collectively. You can get it done much quicker and much faster. So now we're going to have prayer meditation, and this is 1 minute. It's a 1 minute time for us to all get on the same wavelength, to get on the same vibration, to give thanks, to be grateful. And Miss Donna's going to give us a minute. And then after that, we're going to have a presentation by Miss Monica Frazier, and I'll introduce her after we have our 1 minute of silence. Thank you, Miss Donna. Thank you. So now we're going to jump into the evening. We have Miss Monica Frazier, who is an outreach liaison with the Center for Heirs Property. And thank you so much, Monica, for being on the call with us tonight. Again, we have these calls every single month. We've been doing it this is our second year, and we have not missed a month. So we're getting ready for 2024, and our team is shaping up even more. The new class will start in April. The new class of pharmacists will start in April. So Monica is an outreach liaison for the Combahee region. Am I reading that? Combahee region. You got to talk more about the Combahee. Is that where
that is the Low Country.
Harriet Truman, Lord,
yes.
Lord. Harriet Tubman. That's where she went. Okay. Harriet
the
Tubman
river, yes.
Fought there. Okay. Region for Centers for Heirs Property Preservation, located in North Charleston, South Carolina. She has dedicated 9 years of her professional career serving disadvantaged and underserved South Carolinians. She's excited to serve other landowners of the Low Country and spread the good news of heirs property. Monica, I cannot tell you how many times I have conversations about our people owning land and about to lose it. And so again, thank you for being here. In her downtime, and this is also in the email that you received, but I'm not reading it verbatim, but you can get a chance to read it. In her downtime, you may find her working on a do-it-yourself project, framing, freelance photography, or spending quality time with her family. So thank you again, Monica, for being here tonight. We want you to talk maybe about 15 or 20 minutes, and then give us some time to to have question and answer period. Because we like to be here like 1 hour each month. You know, we know everybody's very busy, and I like to honor people's time. That's why we start at 7. So again, are we on? I can't hear or see anything, just boxes. Well, Miss Stephanie, we're here. I don't know what's going on with you. Anybody else besides Stephanie having that problem? Because Stephanie, I see everyone. Donna, do you see Stephanie? I see you, Stephanie.
I'm looking. I think so.
I see you, Stephanie, but I don't know. You may want to log off and log back in, because I see everybody, and we've been having discussion. We're having discussion, so I know everyone else is not having that issue. So go out and come back in, Stephanie. All right, Miss Monica, the Zoom is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would just like to say thank you for the invite. And I was able to actually take some time to see and look at the website, and it is very inspiring what you all have accomplished and what you all have going on here. As I stated earlier, I'm going to turn my camera off only because I have my family home too, and with the bandwidth, I don't want it to interrupt me and not be able to and it actually start buffering. So give me one moment. Are you able to give me control, Ms. Bonita?
You should be able to, if you want to have you have a slide or something that you want to use.
Yes.
You should be able to.
Okay, you can
It's
see that?
shareable.
Okay.
I thought I saw it earlier.
Yes.
I saw something. There we go.
Okay, here we go. Okay, can you all see that?
Yes.
Here we go.
But can you put it in presentation mode so we can see one at a time? If not,
It should. It's not coming up in presentation mode. Do you guys?
I see one, but we can see them all. That's okay. Just go with it. Let's go with it.
Well, click slideshow and just click play from start, and it'll go from there.
You said click slideshow?
Slideshow, top of your screen between recording animations.
It doesn't. Show my taskbar. Sorry.
Oh, we saw it just a second ago with slideshow.
Or just slideshow, click on it.
It's showing as a slideshow on my side. Let's see. What are you seeing?
You can just go with it. Just do what you see. We'll let you know. I see the Centers for Heirs Property, the first page. You see from the beginning at the top under the word file?
Give me one. Yes, ma'am. I don't see, what is it? Do you see the full slide or do you see the notes as well?
We just see the slide. We just see the slides. It's just like before you go into slideshow, we see the other slides on the side. But if at the very your very right side, does it say from beginning? That's the first one, first option.
No, at the bottom I have black or unblack the slideshow, the toggle see all slide. And it doesn't give me it doesn't give me.
Does it say present in Teams? Because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing on the top of your screen, it says auto save, and right below that it says file, and then right below that it says from beginning.
And I have double screen on. Let me get out of this one.
Yeah, it's probably on another screen. What we're looking at is probably on a different screen. There you
Oh,
there you
present in Teams.
Yeah. I see where you're pressing that. Yeah.
So you want to present in Teams? Or from
No,
from
because we're in
beginning.
Zoom.
Not
No,
from
no, no.
beginning.
from beginning here?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Or it's trying to go there anyway. And it may be because you have Teams. So you may need to change your display settings.
Just click on from beginning.
I don't even have from here.
There you go. That's it.
That's it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, and I just literally just went to an arrow.
Okay.
I apologize.
No
I
problem.
just got this computer as well too. Land is, again, thank you for having me. My name is Monica Frazier. I'm the outreach liaison for the Combahee region of the Center for Heirs Property. I cover 5 counties, which consist of Beaufort, Colleton, Jasper, Dorchester, and Hampton counties. There are a total of 5 regions right now. From my understanding with the conversation that I had with Ms. Bonita prior to the meeting, a majority of the individuals here are from the Midlands area, and I have actually invited the male voice that you hear is my coworker. His name is James, and he's your forester for that area. After my presentation, if he would like, if Ms. Bonita, if you don't mind, if I can allow him 2 to 3 minutes to actually provide some information as well.
Absolutely. You can answer the question.
Okay. Land is one of the most important assets for people. Over 14 million acres of African-American land loss has occurred since the Civil War. In 2005, the Coastal Community Foundation, a charity group, saw the need to address this growing disparity and created a project with a budget of $150,000, 2 staff members to address the heirs property issues in the Low Country region of South Carolina, specifically Beaufort, Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester, and Beaufort, Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester County. Those were our 4 original counties. Thus, the Center for Heirs Property Preservation was born. A few milestones include that in 2013, we launched our Sustainable Forestry and African American Land Retention Program. In 2020, the Outreach Department was born. And most recently, in 2023, we have a total of 40 center employees, a 17-member board of directors, and our service area as of 2022 was 23 counties. We actually just expanded into the Midlands area, and we're now covering Richland, Lexington, and Kershaw County. So we're actually at 25 counties. And in 2023, we also launched our regional advisory councils, which are made up of individuals and stakeholders in the communities and the regions in which we serve that provide us outreach awareness for those particular areas as to the places they feel they let us know the places that they feel we would best fit, and where there's a need that we need to meet. This is a map of our service area, and as stated, this year we expanded our reach into the Midlands region of the state. We now provide those services to the communities in Richland, Lexington, and Kershaw County. Our goal at the Center for Heirs Property Preservation is protecting heirs property and promoting its sustainable use. The young lady in the picture is a descendant of 40 African-American families that brought 360 acres of land in the 1920s, and they still own it for their use and enjoyment today. This land is actually located on St. Helena Island. Overall, our goal at the Center for Heirs Property Preservation is to protect the heirs' property and promote its sustainable use. This can be done in 3 service types that we call buckets. And those buckets are prevention, resolution, and land utilization. Prevention services are those designed to prevent the growth of heirs' property. The services include educational seminars where you learn the rights and risks of heirs' property and how to create generational wealth through working landscapes. You can contact your nearest outreach liaison, and he or she will be able to coordinate to have a staff member as well as an attorney and a forester to present a seminar for you. These seminars are normally about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, and we will provide those any day of the week in any type of setting. The second service that's offered under prevention are probating estates. Once you have been accepted as a client with our legal department, we will walk you through the probate process from beginning to finish. We also provide heirs property clinics, and heirs property clinics are in-depth legal discussions on the rights and the risks of heirs property. It's pretty similar to the educational seminars, but the educational seminars, there are 2 components. There is a forestry component and a legal component, and we split the time on the 2, but with the heirs property clinics, it is strictly heirs property information. It's strictly with our legal department. And after that in-depth legal discussion, individuals are given the opportunity to have a 1-hour free consultation with a staff attorney. We also provide wills clinics. We do that in the form of an event that is located in different counties throughout the state of South Carolina where individuals are allowed to pre-register and participate to have a South Carolina law compliant simple will created free of charge. Resolution. Our resolutions bucket is designed to help resolve heirs property title issues. Whether it's legal advice, title searches, surveys, court filings, or court proceedings, an attorney from the Center for Heirs Property Preservation would be able to provide assistance, and all of those services are performed by one of our staff attorneys at no charge for their labor. The only price associated with the services would be any administrative fees that's associated with any court costs that may come about. But as far as the actual legal fees for the lawyer, for an attorney, that is actually free of charge because we are a nonprofit agency. Sustainable land use bucket. In our land utilization bucket, it provides educational and technical assistance to help landowners acquire access to programs and forestry expertise to manage their forest land for maximum income. This is done by way of our forestry workshops. I'll let James kind of elaborate on that. We actually hold those forestry workshops. They can be done in person and or virtually. We also have partnerships and collaborations with other agricultural entities such as NCRS, USDA, and Clemson Extension. The physical attention portion is something that James can elaborate on as well, but what we advise is that it's one of the things that they will do is they will walk your land with you, because sometimes the forest area or your tracts of land may not have been attended to well, but our foresters will get out there with you, walk your land with you, whether it's to do a survey, to find boundary lines.
No. We don't do surveys. That's a whole different thing. We can find corners, but we can't do surveys.
Okay.
We don't do surveys.
Okay, thank you for the clarity. To find boundary lines or answer any forestry related questions. And I'll allow James to further elaborate on that.
Sure. Thank you, Monica. I am a forester in the Midlands, also with Hank. So you either have myself or Hank Poole. And essentially what we do is, and the counties I'm really primarily responsible for, are Chesterfield, Kershaw, and Richmond. So essentially when you have heirs property that's been in the family for a very long time, and particularly in the Southeast, a lot of that land is former agricultural land that has not been used for agricultural use for many decades. And instead of farmland, have a lush forest there. That forest land's worth a lot of money. It can be worth, the timber is worth a lot of money, potentially, depending on the acreage. The forestry team, it's our job to help kind of manage that forest land until your family's cleared title where you can sell it. Because as long as it's heirs property, you can't cut the trees off that land. Let me repeat that. If you don't have clear title, you cannot sell. I mean, you can, but it'll become a legal nightmare for you and your family. But if your family has heirs property, you don't have clear title, you can't sell that timber or pulpwood off the land for profit. Once you've cleared the title, do what you want with it. So while the legal team is helping you clear your title, the forestry team is helping you manage that land, right? So sometimes there's understory treatment that needs to be done. And there's some other things we can kind of do for you with NRCS funds while you're waiting to clear title. And then I also want to be clear about this. Most times you're not going to become rich overnight. off the timber, unless your family has like 200 acres or 100 or more acres of land, right? But there are some improvements we can help make to the land to help optimize the value. So I want you, when you think about joining in the forestry program, it's not about the tens of thousands of dollars you might see off of this. It's about optimizing the value of your family land. And I will hand it back over to Monica, and I'll answer questions that you may have at the end of this.
Thanks, James. Our impact. The Center for Heirs Property Preservation has cleared 380 titles of family land covering 1,792.10 acres with a cumulative tax assessed value of $27,031,598. Over 503 forestry participants who collectively own 26,000 plus acres have benefited from our sustainable forestry services. We have a YouTube page. It is definitely, it's called, the Center for Heirs Property Preservation, and where you see the @ symbol, that if you wanted to type in the number, it's the Center for Heirs Property Press 4512. What I'm going to actually show you now is I will share one family story, of which can be found on that actual YouTube page, along with several others.
Are you okay?
I'm Ronald Richards.
Yes, can you see?
Are you sharing the YouTube page? Is that?
Yes, ma'am. Is it
No, I
not
can't.
sharing?
No, I don't see it. Does anyone else see it? No. Okay.
Going to be doing that alternate. Do you have two screens? Is that what you said before? Was it playing on another screen before? Is that what's happening again?
April, can you mute yourself, please?
I'm gonna share the screen, stop sharing and then reshare it again.
Okay, that probably worked. If you want to just go into the YouTube and use the sound and the picture.
That's not it. Are you able to see it? Are you able to hear and see?
No, we can't see it. We're not able to see in here.
Let me take it off.
Monica, can you share the link and we can send it out?
I sure can.
So just share the link and we can send it out later in a follow-up email.
Yes, I apologize. I think that's going to be the best option there.
Okay. Because I know we have quite a few people on the call, and I know there are going to be a lot of questions. So when you finish, I just really want to deep dive into. I want to take a deep dive into a lot of the questions.
Okay. And community outreach. That's pretty much what we do, what I do on a daily basis. If you or anyone you know, whether it's a civic group or a an agency would like us to host a presentation and share about the center services, or just to come share materials at festivals, we do information tables, please feel free to reach out to the center or myself. My contact information is there, and we would be able to set up, whether it's a presentation and or a seminar. We would be more than happy to share that information with you guys. As Ms. Bonita said, that she knows that there are going to be questions, and at this time, I'll just open the floor to any questions that may be had, whether it's forestry in reference to legal. Depending upon what the question is, I'm not an attorney, so I wouldn't be able to answer provide any legal advice.
So I have a question. You said that the majority of the people on here, not all are from Richland County, and from other parts of the state, and probably some are out of the state. So my first question, James, when you say you can do Richland and Lexington, that means all of the things? Tell us exactly what you can do in Richland and Lexington, James.
Sure thing. So if you think about the Midlands, right, and please pardon me, I'm a Texas native. I'm not from South Carolina. I live and work here now, but I'm still
How long
learning
you been
geography.
here?
About a year and some change. But
all right, let's get together. I'll get you up to speed.
Okay, so when we talk about the Midlands, right, I'm referring everything from Augusta to where Charlotte is, right? So that strip of North Carolina. Now, the services we offer vary. So when we talk about the legal services, so writing wills and things like that, that covers Kershaw, Richland, and Chesterfield. So we do offer legal services in those counties. Now, forestry services, we can do pretty much all the Midlands, but there's only 2 of us. So does everybody get that? So
when you say forestry, tell us exactly what you can offer.
Sure. So
when it comes to
forestry, me and or Hank will come out. We'll look at your land, and we'll say, this is what you have, and this is what's available to you, right? And so and the breakdown typically looks like this. If you've got under 50 acres of land, that's not really attractive for a timber sale, right? You're not going to see a lot. You're not going to get a logging crew to come out there and cut that, especially if it's unmanaged, right? Now, if you have some family land that's in the 100+ acres, then we might be talking about something. So that's the first thing I want to kind of put out there. But if you just because you have 50 acres doesn't mean that you can't get money and things for your land, right? So there are certain improvements we can do and get funding through the NRCS, right? What are the criteria to become a client? Just be financially distressed and have some heirs property issues. The Low Country, we have the full suite of services. So that's where we started, right? So that's where we're the strongest, right? So if you're in the Low Country, you are right in Jenny's backyard, our CEO. They do everything for you. Does that make sense?
Yes. They're both legal and forestry services available.
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm not a legal resident in South Carolina as of yet, just moved here in July, but I have inherited property in Calhoun and Orangeburg since 1990 something.
Uh-huh.
From what I gather, you guys cannot help me because I'm not a legal resident. Is that? From what I gather, I contacted them before and they said if I'm not a legal resident here in South Carolina, I have the land and pay taxes, that they could not give me legal services.
What legal service would you need?
Well, we'll take an attorney to do the look at the property, because I contacted you guys about a year or so ago.
So wait, I guess my question is, do you have clear title to that land? Is it in your name?
I have one portion of it, but the Orangeburg one I do not. It is still caught up in Heirs Property.
Okay, so if you do have a family member who's a South Carolina resident who's caught up in that, they can contact the center.
Yeah,
nobody. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then I would say try again. Explain your
Yeah.
situation
Yes.
because I actually do work with two landowners who do live out of state. So
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What I was
Yeah.
going to advise is what I've been advised with the center is you do not have to reside in the state. In order to receive services, in order to receive legal services, you must have land in the state of South Carolina, but you do not have to physically reside here.
Okay, cool. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? And also, I wanted to make sure that I stated that if you are a legal resident of the state of South Carolina, you are entitled to 1 hour free consultation of advice and counsel. All legal residents of the state of South Carolina are entitled to that 1 free hour. So if you just wanted to call to kind of give your situation and see what direction you needed to head into, you're more than welcome to call the center, speak with someone in our legal department, and they'll actually be able to set you up with that 1 hour free advice and counsel.
Do y'all have, are y'all doing this also in Georgetown County? Because a lot of my land is in McClennarsville, Plantersville, Pawleys Island areas. So I think that's mostly all Georgetown County, right?
Yeah, we
Yes,
got some people in Georgetown.
Yes, we cover legal and both legal and forestry in Georgetown.
Okay, so if I go to y'all's website, I can find the contact person?
Yes, ma'am. You can contact the center directly at 843-745-7055.
Okay.
And there are options for the forestry department as well as our legal department, just depending, of course, you select the option based on the department you would want to speak with.
Okay, thank you.
Can you give that number again?
Yes, ma'am. It's 843-745-7055.
Okay. And I had a quick question. The gentleman mentioned that the property has to be in a single person's name in order to do something, because so I have several siblings. We are looking at doing something with our property, and we actually are have now done it as a whole family thing with all of my cousins. So total it's the total of about maybe like 80 acres maybe. So if we were trying to do something, then you're saying we would not be able to do anything through you all?
So so you said your family owns this land collectively. When you say collectively, is there somewhere on that deed or title that says et al. Or heirs property?
So it's heirs property.
Okay, so no, you can't. Then you can't touch it until that title's clear.
You're saying we can't timber the land now?
I mean, you can, but you're opening yourself up to a lot of legal issues.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to call you all because actually we were looking at doing that. Okay, I'll give you a call.
I have a question, and that is, you mentioned that you can do boundary lines.
So we can find corners, right? So a serve as a forester, we are not registered as surveyors. We can't say this longitude and this latitude is from this booking in 1794, right? Like, unless your forester has been trained as a surveyor. That's the job as a surveyor. At the center, we currently don't have surveyors. Now, one thing we can do, or we occasionally do, is when we're going out and we're looking at a landowner's land, we'll find corners. So we do have some technology that lets us see the tract of land, and we can find the corner or where we think the corner is. But if we go out and mark that corner, typically we cut in a lot more. And so let's say you do have someone come in and cut it. You're losing acreage because we're just estimating, and we're doing a generous estimate, right? If that makes sense. So I get it, because sometimes when we go in there, we say we're going to come and paint corners or identify corners. It sounds like we're doing land surveying, but we're not. And I think it's important to have a good surveyor. We don't provide surveyors. We don't have surveyors on staff. But if your family has the finances, you should absolutely get an updated survey of your land, because you might find out you have more acreage than you thought you did. Historically, a lot of Black families are cheated out of acreage that they thought they had, right? So I think that's one of the first things I recommend, right? As a matter of fact, one of the landowners I worked with, I'm looking at it's been his family since the early 1900s in Kershaw County. He has 300 acres. I think he has a little bit more than that, because of the way the boundary line is drawn. It looks a little off. So I've encouraged him and his family to retain a surveyor.
I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
I have an updated survey, and because I'm not familiar with the land process or what have you, being from another state, and once I came back to during COVID time, put a fence around the line. Now, they call the police on me family members. I am the first of 4 generations to do something on the land.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, they couldn't do anything. That was a civil matter. So now I have a question on easement, because they said that I was cutting through their property. So that's where I'm confused at even now, and as far as easement, because I thought on that plat it would show the boundaries. So I'm totally confused about that.
So an easement as in like a utility easement or like a road?
Yeah, it's a right of way, a passive.
A right of way. Okay. So
right, exactly. And I have an updated survey.
Okay. So because what it sounds like is you're dealing with a family heirs property issue, whether you have this one portion clear to your name or not, if it's overlapping or cutting through some family heirs property, that's something that I would say the center could help out with. But one thing the center doesn't do is we don't take adversarial action against other family members. We're not here to help you. Okay, so yeah, I want to be clear about that.
I just want to know where the easement is, because I put the fence around it, my property line, to secure it. But,
if you got a surveyor who did that, ask him or ask her.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
You mentioned the Heirs Property Clinic, and I was curious about when can you set those up? Can you set them up for your family, or do they have clinics already established?
For the Wills Clinic?
For the Heirs Property Clinic. You said something about an Heirs Property Clinic.
Yes, ma'am. For the Heirs Property Clinics, they're actually done on a rotation basis. And we have a mailing list and an email list. If you would like to forward your information to me in the chat, what will happen is any event that we're having, they'll actually be able to share it with you, just that way that you're automatically in the know as to when the actual Heirs Property Clinic would occur nearest you.
Okay, is that the same for the Will Clinic as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And I know that they're trying to do an initiative where they actually they're going to ramp up the amount of Wills clinics that they're having this year. So if you are wanting that information, you can definitely send me your email information in the chat, and I'll make sure that it gets over to the right person to ensure that they place you on that email list.
I have a question. This is Joyce Winkler.
Okay.
So, my grandfather had 8 children, and he gave each of his children lots to build their homes on. to build their homes. And the land that was not used for home was considered now heirs property. So there are 20 of us that would be considered heirs based on who is still alive versus those who are deceased, like my father, and it was 6 of us. I guess I'm hearing things that I just don't know if I understand exactly how to even discuss this with the family. Some are out of state, of course, and others are here. So what you're saying, or what I'm hearing is, in order to move forward, we'd have to relinquish, or others have to relinquish their portion, quote, of the property in order to get a title. And the title would be for who of the heirs? Would it be a group or individual, or an individual?
Okay.
That's something for the legal department to answer. I will say this, it does not have to be in one individual's name. It doesn't have to, but there are options available as to how that can be done. I'll use for an example, I've seen where there are several heirs, and what has been done, an LLC was created, and it was in the name of the LLC. But that's more of a question for the legal department, because what they can do is they can give you the best advice and counsel as to how you would want to move forward with that.
Yeah, and I'm going to follow up on Monica's comment about that. She's right. Heirs property is very complicated. It's extremely complicated. And yes, it does not, when I say it has to be in one person's name, that's not an LLC, a trust, any of these kind of mechanisms. Is the bottom is there clear title, right? And so your complication, I mean, your situation sounds complicated. That's something for legal.
When you say a clear title, tell me what you're saying.
That means that cousin Jabbo Jenkins in New York City can't come back and say, I was an heir and they didn't tell me you sold grandpa's property. That means
we're not planning to sell
or make any modifications with it, right?
Okay. So you're saying any modifications, we would have to have a clear title to do that, be it 20.
I'm sorry, what are you asking? What kind of modification, I guess?
Well, anything that we wanted to do to, say, make the farm agribusiness or something like that.
Yeah, you'd want to. I would want to make sure that I had clear title before I did anything like that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll contact your legal department to get some more clarity regarding that. And the reason I say this, my father and mother owns the adjoining property, and it's not heir, it's owned by, and we have a clear title, the 5 of me and my 4 siblings. And we have the property lines and those things that surveying has taken place. But it's all within one space, contiguous is what the word is. So,
all right, so I'm gonna just say this. I'm from Texas. My family has heirs property. It's a lot of our people cannot get their stuff together, point blank, period. And we dress it up and put all these things. Well, technically, I paid $500 to this and got so-and-so out of jail, and they said I could have this. Don't play with this stuff. Make sure you are legally sound on it, right? Like, well, because my mom and dad are still alive and I can sue it. And they said we had a verbal agreement, and I have this note under my mattress. Don't play with it. Please go by the letter of the law. I cannot stress that enough. Family legends and folklore don't count. It doesn't matter if you're part of the Navajo Nation or the Cherokee. Like, you need to have this in black and white, legally verified to the letter of South Carolina law, because that's how we end up losing things as a people. Right? Like I said, my family in Texas right now is going through this. Families in Louisiana are going through this. I'm looking at this question right here. We have everybody on the deed of a property. If we go look on the land, we're all listed on that property. Like, I don't like this maybe and if, or it's kind of, I don't feel comfortable with that, right? I'm comfortable with, this is a legal document that says we've dotted all of our I's and crossed all of our T's. It's like in college, right? Or in high school, you don't turn in an essay that's halfway done and try and get credit for that. When it comes to like having clear title and legal access to your land, your family land, like it has to be done fully through.
How do we organize a workshop where the attorney can be there and everybody can be there to answer everything, because we don't understand the legal jargon, like someone said, clear title. Yes, it is. That's why I've been wanting Centers for Heirs Property to come on here, because we know it's a mess. And I'm petrified. Donna will tell you, I always say, Donna, you got to get it straight, because that's how they come and steal our land. So I'm very passionate about it. But I'm also passionate about what do we do? What can pharmacists do to get people in the room to say, this is what a deed looks like. This is what you got to have, step by step by step. Because we hear this language, you need to do this, you need to do that. We need a little bit more hand-holding than that.
Call Monica and Alexa.
All right.
And we can have an heirs property clinic here.
And if it's in Columbia, I'll be there. If it's anywhere in the Midlands, I'll be there. And we'll have
the attorneys and whoever else.
We'll have,
yeah,
so we actually did this. We actually
Okay.
did this. What was that church in Columbia, that Baptist church? It's the biggest. It's a pretty big one.
Yes, we just did an not Heirs Property. We did it's called a sustainable forestry and Heirs Property seminar that was just done at First Nazareth back on August 19th. October 17th. August 19th, we did a wills clinic there.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do, that is a need that we can fill. If there is a church that is willing to host us, or if you know one of your churches would allow us to come in and have 2 hours of dedicated time to utilize their space, to where an actual attorney and an actual forester would be able, the forester would come in and explain in depth, and it would be James, about the sustainable forestry program, and the attorney would actually come in and they'll be able to provide the actual detailed and as well as answer questions about the heirs property. We can actually get that ball rolling.
Can somebody be there to do wills?
Now the wills clinics are done
different
on
thing.
Those are two separate events.
Okay, those are two separate things.
Yeah, those are done on a rotating basis.
Okay.
But for everyone who's put their email in the chat, I'm getting your email information, and I will have that information forwarded to you. And Ms. Bonita, I will definitely keep you in the loop as to what's going on I'll just send you all information, because you have people from different regions.
Okay, and I have someone, CC, raise her hand. See, come up. But before that, you said something about a church. Does it have to be in a church? Because we have a community center.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't. A church. It doesn't have to be a church. It can be any place that has table and chairs.
All right. Okay.
Well, I use a projector. No, I'm just saying.
All right. We have that capability. See, you want to come up? You got your hand raised?
Yes. Do I have echo?
We can hear you.
Okay. Do y'all hear echo? No?
Nope, I don't.
Okay. Hey everyone. I'm in North Carolina, so I'm just gonna put my little 2 cents in. But I think it would be helpful to also have some farmers there that have different agribusiness structures, that have utilized estate planning and created trust or LLCs, et cetera, to show some different models for, okay, once you handle your paperwork, here are the resources that are available for you. Now you can tap into more federal funding. Now you can go after more opportunities in industry, and show how it's not, just paperwork, but there really is asset. When you start doing things such as creating a business, you create a brand. We just got our trademark. which increases the value of our farm's name. So just having some farmers there that can show different examples for how they've used these tools for asset preservation to actually increase the value of their properties and their assets.
You are most correct, Ms. Stanley, and we actually do that in the form of a symposium. Annually, next year, it's actually going to be on June the 21st. During the summer, we put on a 2-day event where we give our landowners direct access to information about federal funding, as well as state and federal stakeholders are at our event, and they have direct access to them, as well as banks. Ms. Ruth has actually attended probably more symposiums than I have. This year she was actually part of our symposium, but you are definitely correct. We do have that space and that dedicated time where we are able to have all of those individuals in one space and provide that informative, that educational as well as instructional piece. And again, that is on June 21st this year. We do not have a location yet, but if you provide that email address, that is one of the things that will come in the email as well, because it's our mailing list. It's the same equivalent to the mailing list. If you don't have an email address and you'd rather have it mailed, you can provide your, you can send me a direct message, or you can put it in the group, the general chat, your address, and it'll be mailed to you, because we do direct mailing as well as emailing. Any other questions?
Have all the questions in the chat been answered, Ms. Donna? You know?
I think so.
Okay, are there any more questions from anyone else?
I just want to say, I put my email in the chat. I'm not doing any more site visits until January, but if you have questions about forestry, you're more than welcome to send me an email, because even if you do have a smaller acreage of land, there are still things you can do.
You're in the Midlands. Who would be the person that handles the Low Country?
His name is Walter Whetstone.
Walter's one of them. We got a few.
Yeah, but Walter's my dedicated forester for the area.
Oh, for your county, yeah, okay.
Yeah, for what county are you in?
Williamsburg.
That is Walter.
Yes, it's Walter.
Yeah.
It's
What was the
Walter
last?
It's Walter Whetstone. I can put his, if you give me 2 seconds, I can grab his card and I can give you his contact information.
Or if she sends me an email, I'll forward it to him.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We share, us foresters share each other information around all the time. We work together a lot.
Okay, thank you.
All right, are there any other questions? So I'll make sure I'll send out an email to my list whenever they decide where they're gonna host that workshop. And we will do our best to try to organize something here, because again, it is complicated, it is confusing, and at least 3 to 4 times a month, I hear of a family that's in crisis, that needs help, and they just don't know where to go. I'm happy to hear that the Center for Heirs Property has expanded into more counties. So I'm hoping that at some point in the future, they'll be able to cover the entire state, because it's a great need. So thank you, Monica and James.
I have a question, Benita.
Okay, Karen.
Do I have to wait till April before someone can show me how to do a garden?
No, you can come on, you can start the class on April 1st. So the next pharmacist. Yes, yes.
Man.
Oh, you really don't. But if you want us to work with you, you gotta wait till April. You can get started right now.
And thank you for your vision too. And thank you for your obedience, walking in your gift. Appreciate that.
Girl, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank all y'all too for being on here every single month for the past 2 years. This is amazing. Any more questions? Y'all get your land right. Because I know people are watching. There are people out there who have strategies. After watching and knowing who owns what, we don't know, but they know. So please, 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 if you have land, I don't care if it's a piece of acre, get it straight, get it right. Get a will, and let's do what we need to do. All right. Well, we are at our 1 hour. Y'all know I don't like to keep you longer than an hour. Waiting for the April class. So this is how it goes. So for those, thank you all for coming. If you need to jump off, it's 8 o'clock. Class is dismissed. But we also have what's called the after party, and I stay on for as long as you all want to. So again, thank you, Monica. Thank you, James. Y'all welcome to stay on too, but we have the after party again where because I can't get to every single person, I use this time once a month to get on a call, to answer questions, and to just have conversation, to support each other. Because, you know, it can get lonely out here for a farmer, for a sister farmer.
Well, I'm joining the after party, so.
Okay, well, stay on, girl. Well, you just stay on for the after party. But those of you who need to go, y'all have a good night and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and see you in January. And in January, we're going to have a presentation by the South Carolina Black Farmers Coalition. Sister Najma Thomas is going to present. There's going to be a big, the 6th annual conference in March. She's going to talk about that. I also tell people and encourage people to be a part of that. They soon going to have a lot of grant money available, and we want all of y'all to apply. And South Carolina Department of Agriculture has $4 million right now in grant money to support buying equipment. So please go to South Carolina Department of Agriculture's website. It's called a RSFI grant. Their grants are not hard to complete. They don't make it hard for you. So please go on to that. And if anybody have any announcements, you can announce them now.
Benita, could you add what you said to the chat, like the name of the grant you said to go on to?
RSFI. I don't know let me see if I can find it. I don't know.
RSSI.
Oh, RSFI.
Okay.
Let me look. Right
I'm
here.
Googling it now.
Okay.
That might be the one that we were talking about before the meeting start, where you can help buy a tractor.
No, now this specifically will not help you buy a tractor.
Oh, okay. Well, then this is
I'm sorry, it's RFSI.
It's there in the chat.
Okay, it's in the chat. Okay. Mm-hmm. Please, and I think the deadline is sometime in May. You can get up to $100,000 for this grant. And I was trying to think if they had a person of color in South Carolina Department of Agriculture that I could have to come on and do the presentation. I haven't found anyone yet, but that's not to say they're not there. I just haven't found them yet, because we know that this space is for Black women, and so I'm trying to keep it that. However, if I need to bring somebody else on so we can understand and know about the grant, I will. Okay, don't get offended, please. Because Benita Clemens always tell you, if resources are out there, apply, apply, apply. I have applied and I have received. So I'm not gonna allow that to hinder us from having the right information and right knowledge, okay? And I might just have a special meeting. Maybe I'll do that. I'll have a special meeting. I'll put a special meeting about grants because I want y'all to have this information. There was a big meeting on Friday and they announced that it was open. So again, I want you all to have a, so Donna, will you remind me, let's have a special meeting just to talk about the grant from the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. And I know that they would love to come on and share this information. Again, I want us to apply for this. I'm in need of a lawyer. Jamie says she needs a lawyer for an appeal. Anybody knows a good lawyer? Can anybody recommend a good lawyer